Hey guys, like I said, my podiatrist has given me the all clear to do my walking, and I hate to repeat myself, but I'm on the 10% rule, in which he started me off on light walking, and each day I increased my walking by 10%, the length of my walk by 10%, as long as I check my feet every night and make sure there's no bruising, no cuts, no wounds, because as a diabetic, if you have any of these such conditions, it could lead to a diabetic infection, and a diabetic infection can lead to amputation, and so that's what we're trying to avoid. And it's a catch-22, because without walking, you lower your chances of blood sugar control, and blood sugar control it lowers your chances, if you're out of control, lowers your chances of avoiding diabetic infections. So we must continue to walk, continue to increase circulation to your peripherals, that's your hands and feet, so that so you maintain blood flow. That lowers your risk of infections. So it's all a continuous cycle. We must keep active as much as we can within our doctor's guidance. And as you get older, you have to do more to maintain your blood sugar control. Okay, so right now I added to my tool chest walking, which my podiatrist had for many years, had put a hold on that. But as my neurologist in primary care has urged me to do more activity, because I had a scare about 6 months ago. My blood sugar all of a sudden went out of control, and my liver numbers went out of control, so we had to do something. They added Ozempic to my toolbox. Mind you, I'm already on a keto diet, and I'm already on intermittent fasting, and I'm already doing 1 meal a day. So exercise routine or walking was the next step. So the podiatrist had to approve me. And since I had 2 wounds on my foot, they had to get his clearance. So the first step was to find diabetic shoes in which I could do walking without aggravating the wounds. And he found some shoes that basically allowed me to walk and allowed the wounds to heal at the same time, which I was so blessed. I mean, these are the best diabetic shoes I ever had. And amazingly enough, the wounds are healing. I'm walking. My last A1C, believe it or not, just 4 weeks ago, fell to 5.4. My liver numbers are back in line. My weight is back in line. My wounds are healing. So every day after the end of the day, I check my feet, make sure I have no cuts, no abrasions, no bruising. And then I have my regular follow-ups with my podiatrist, and then I keep on my lab reports. So it's a continuing battle with diabetes, and that's how you have to look at it. But another issue I want to raise with diabetes is, we have to make it simple. Walking does not have to be complex. Wherever you are, just walk. Like wherever your neighborhood at. If you're in the mall, just take a couple laps around the deck. You gotta walk, make it simple. Just do anything to keep moving, to keep that blood flow going, to burn these carbs, burn these calories, and keep yourself functioning, keep your body functioning. I have to say it's a beautiful morning after so many bad mornings in Florida this summer, because it was the hottest summer I've ever seen. Good morning. But it's amazing. But like I said, as a diabetic, you have to use everything in your toolbox. Diabetic shoes, diabetic socks, walking, no carbs. I treat food especially when it comes to carbs and sugar, as like I'm allergic. If I knew the things if I knew I was diabetic in the beginning, I would have avoided all the complications I had. And so I think a key issue is to detect your diabetes early on. And once diagnosed, stay on top of it and be a warrior and be aggressive with it. This is a busy Sunday today, huh? At one point in my diabetes, each step was a pain. Each step was an aggravation. So you find yourself doing less. Even though you're eating right, your blood sugar is still going up, and you kind of find yourself like wondering why. So you have to eat right. You have to keep moving. It takes, you have to use all your tools available. Especially the older you get. For many years, because when I first got diagnosed, my diabetes was already attacking my feet. I had osteomyelitis 3 times, which is a bone infection, diabetic bone infection that a lot of diabetics have amputations from. I was able to avoid amputations 3 times. I had bilateral gangrene on both sides of my foot. I was able to get that treated and avoid any amputations. And so from the beginning, I didn't know I was diabetic, so I was able to get it successfully treated. And so from the beginning, I had a hold on walking because they didn't want me to further injure myself, because walking seemed to, or any type of exercise walking seemed to further injure me. So they didn't want me to do anything like that. So for years, I was able to manage my diabetes with a low-carb diet, later with a keto diet, and that worked fine. But earlier this year, my numbers just went out of whack, and my neurologist came to the conclusion that, I was getting older and my body had changed. So they needed some extra tools in the toolbox. So they added Ozempic, and that helped. And they urged my podiatrist to come up with some way to get me moving. Better diabetic shoes and so that I'll be able to walk and keep my blood flow going and my circulation and burn more and calories and such. And there's a lot of stuff you can do on your own as well. Like I do the apple cider vinegar in the morning and such. So, it's a combination of your own research and then your doctors, depending on your severity. Some things need immediate intervention, and as far as maintenance, that's when you have your own research and your doctor's ongoing supervision. Man, this has been a long, hard journey. My initial A1C when I first got diagnosed with diabetes was 14, which was the limit of the scale. My First doctor said it was probably higher. It's just the scale didn't go up higher. My latest A1C is 5.4. So I'm doing everything I can within myself and with the doctor's help. But I do a lot of outside research on my own too. I want to bring up an issue I just glanced over, talked through it, is undiagnosed diabetes. And when you're undiagnosed, and I said that initially when they finally diagnosed me, my A1C was 14. That's how they measure diabetes, or to the extent of your condition. By the time they diagnosed me with diabetes, it had already damaged the nerves in my stomach. They call that gastroparesis. I've already had damaged nerves throughout the body. They call that neuropathy. My blood pressure was high. Most diabetics have type 2 diabetes, have high blood pressure. It causes your arteries to be clogged. They call that peripheral artery disease. So it's very important to find out if you have diabetes early on to avoid developing any other complications, conditions, and or diseases. And luckily, a lot of these conditions are digestive diseases or conditions that you can reverse along with your diabetes by lowering your blood sugar, your insulin resistance, and your insulin insensitivity. Hey guys, a lot of diabetics, even though it doesn't look like it, a lot of times they're feeling good and bad at the same time. That's hard to believe, but they really do need your support. They need your and they need your motivation to get through. Because it can be difficult, because there's times when I felt terrible all the time. Then there's times when you start to feel a little bit of good, you just feel bad, creep back in, and then you feel good and terrible at the same time. It's like a roller coaster, and people around you seem to don't understand, and I get that because they're not going through the same thing. So, like, if you know someone diabetic, give them a little support and motivation. It'll help them out a long way. Whew. I can, this little walk I'm feeling it. Does anybody know what these birds are called? I see them every day. But looks like I'm coming towards the end of my walk. I really felt, I'm not running, but I really felt the burn today. All right, guys. Thanks for your support. I'll keep you abreast of any further updates. And give your diabetic friend a hug.